Hello guys, so this is the sixth part of the Facebook style status update tutorial. In this tutorial we'll be going on the liking of the status and liking of the comment. So hopefully I guess the liking of the comment would cover this tutorial. It depends on the time of the tutorial. So let's start. I'll be starting with the index page file, and we would want to have okay, so we need the ID of the button like, and that's this one here. In order to know what I'm doing here, you need to follow all the tutorials of this Facebook style tutorial from part 1, and you need to go to the bottom part of the file, and we need to add new script there. Okay, just verify that there. Okay, now we need to button ID is that, and click, that's the function there, and what happens when the user clicks the like button? First of all, we need to make few hidden like buttons there. That's like when the user clicks the like button, we need unlike to be displayed there. So to do that, we need to create one more button, and we'll name that unlike status, and that should be hidden for now. And we need to give a few if statements there, if loops, to check whether the status has been liked by the user previously or not. We can do that. Okay, so we can do that once we've done with the scripting part. So that's display. I would also need an unlike status dummy there, which is also hidden. This button wouldn't actually fire up any script. So I'll tell you why I need that. I'll show you that the use of that later. Okay, so before that we'll just do the scripting part, and so firstly we need when the user clicks the like status, we want to display unlike status dummy button. I'll tell you the reason why I'm adding that. We need to show that. Before that, we need to hide this button. We don't need the like button there anymore, so we'll hide that, then show the dummy button. The dummy button, when clicked, won't do anything, but I'll tell you the use of that. Okay, once done, we need to create a variable with the name status ID. That will be the status ID. With the status ID would show which status was liked, and we need the liker ID, the person who liked the ID. That would obviously be the logged in user, which is actually the session ID, which we had saved previously in the form of SID. So that's the reason. If you have followed my previous tutorials, every part from the starting, you would understand that. So okay, that's liker ID, status ID, And yeah, that's about it. We need to create one more variable data, and that would be status ID. This is something which is called as Ajax. I hope you're aware of that. If not, then you need to go through my other tutorial which explains how Ajax works and what Ajax is. Okay, and liker ID is liker ID, and then we need to perform the Ajax part. The type would be post, and the URL would be insert actually status like.php, because there would also be a comment liking later, so we can differentiate the files. Okay, the data would be data, and on success we would want firstly to actually hide the dummy button, because if the data could be something else coming from the PHP file. That could be like if the user is liking a status which is not there existing at that time. If user A created the status and user B is liking it, and at the same time if user A is deleting the status, that doesn't make sense, because when there is no status but it is being displayed on the page because the user did not refresh the page before liking, there's an instance of the status on the page, but in the database there's no record of the status there, so the person cannot like a status which does not exist. So in the PHP file we will also be checking whether the status with that particular status ID does exist or not. If not, we would echo out something like there's an error. So to differentiate that, the data coming back from the PHP file is right here in this function data. So if the data says there's an error, that could be anything, that means the user cannot like the status presently, so that would actually hide this dummy unlike button, because when there's no status, so a person can't like it. So we would actually hide the unlike button again, which is a dummy button, and then we would again show the like button. Actually, this is not something to be done there. Instead of these both, we would actually make out pop up a small div which would say that there's an error in liking the status, or something like the status does not exist anymore, or it has been deleted by its user, something like that. But you can add that later, but for now I will be doing this here, and yeah, that's about it. And like status would be shown, and if there's no error, then we want the dummy unlike status button to be hidden, and then we want the unlike status button, not the dummy button, the real button, to show up, and the unlike status button is there. It's on display none, and the like status would hide and the unlike status button would come up. And what if the user clicks unlike? There's another script which we have to add later on. It would be just the same as the like status button, only the PHP file would change and the scripting would change there. Let's just focus on liking right now. So unlike status is shown. And yeah, so now coming back to the status like.php file. For that we'll create a new PHP file, and that would be status like.php. So firstly we'll fetch out all the variables which we have sent from that file, and that is the status ID, and I would use the previously files filtering options like that. That would be status ID. Okay, we wouldn't want that file now anymore. Okay, and then the other variable is the liker ID, and that would be the liker ID. And now we want to include our database file to connect our page to the database. We also need no, we don't need that file. Okay, so now we would want to firstly check whether the database with that ID exists or not before doing anything. So we can pass a query, the status ID with as reference, and then check it using MySQL underscore num underscore rows, and then if num is equal to 1, that means if there is a status existing, we need to do that, else we need to echo error. So that would go back to the script there, and if it checks if the echoing part, if the echoing is actually the data coming back from the PHP file, so the if the data is equal to the string here, then it would do the statements written inside the if block. So if there is a status which is existing with that ID, we need to go on to the further functions, and that would be to insert the like. Before that we need to go to our database, and that would be that would be my PHP my admin. Yeah, I'm using easy PHP as my texting server. So PHP my admin is my database with the database FB status, and these are the tables. Right now we need to create one more table with the name likes. That would be actually status likes. First column would be ID with an auto increment checked, and that would be the second column would be the status ID. It is an integer itself, and we need to add one more column that would have the liker ID and the ID of the liker, and that actually is the user who liked it. So it has ID, status ID, liker ID, and yeah, that's about it. Save the table and with those columns there, and status likes. Okay, so now coming back to our file, we need to insert the like inside the database. To do that, we'll just pass a query again, that is insert into status likes, and that's ID, status ID, and the liker ID. I hope you don't mind the sounds at the background. I just live by near a road, so all the people here are just gone crazy by honking for no reason. Status ID would be the status ID, and liker ID would be the liker ID. And yeah, so after inserting the like, we need to actually echo out something. because if you've used Facebook before, so you know, when a person clicks like button, if there isn't any like to the status, it actually comes, you know, there's small message that pops up that means you did you like this or something like that. If it's more than one user, it says you and the person's name like this, and if there are more than 2-3 people, it says you and the number of people. So for example, if there are 3 people, it says you and 3 people like this. So for now we can you know, just echo out the number of likes for the status. I can also show you to do the Facebook style, you know, you and so and so people like this, you and the person of the name like this if there are 2 people. But for now we'll just echo out the number of likes for the particular status there. So in order to do that, we would again have to run another query, and that is select everything from status likes where the status ID is the status ID. Sorry, that's not actually the num, that's okay, I'll just name that check2, and the num2 would be num rows, where it would actually show the number of likes on that status. So we can actually echo out num2, so that would be the number of records in the database. That is actually the number of likes for the particular status there, and the status is being referenced using the status ID, and okay, that many people like that. So coming back, we would also want to you know, concatenate one more thing. Num2 would be a number, so we would want to concatenate after a space there, so and so people like this, you know, that would come back. And coming back to our index page, we would want to echo out, you know, get that data there and append it or prepend it or, you know, HTML it to a hidden div, which we will be having after our after a like button and commenting button. That is actually after a like button and the all comments div. So we would be having that somewhere around here, and that would be a div with an ID likes status ID, sorry, status ID, and the styling would be actually we don't want to hide that. We would be having a width of the width would be 350, okay, 350 pixels, and we won't have an we can have a height there, but yeah, you can have a height there about let's say 20 pixels for now. Give a background color of the same as the comments have. Background color here is C, okay, background color is little right shade of gray, that's there, and we would also have a padding of about 5 pixels. So we need to reduce the width there by 10, because there's 5 plus 5, 10 pixels, as you know, paddings on left and right, and height also by 10. Okay, we have a padding of that there, and we need to float that to left. We need text, which would text in that to be aligned on the left side. Okay, and we need this div ID, copy it, come down to the script, and here after hiding and showing all the buttons, we need the likes and the HTML data, and to, you know, print that coming the incoming data from the status like .php file to be, you know, printed inside that div. So yeah, that's there, and you know, actually we should be can test that out. Okay, so that is being shown there, which is not right. We need to hide it, and whenever someone, you know, likes or likes it, we need to also show that and then write the data. Yeah, we need to change that a little bit there. That would be having a margin top of about 10 pixels, and width would be here. The width is 330. Okay, 330, no props. Okay, refresh the page. Okay, that's coming in line there, and then we need to hide it. The gap there between the comment and the likes is a little big, so we need to reduce that to about 2 pixels of the all comments there, and yeah, that we can increase that to 5. Yeah, if someone likes the comment, you know, okay, so there's an error there. That means there's some problem in the status of like.php file. MySQL query, select everything from status. Okay, status where the ID is status ID. Checking the script now. We've sent status ID and liker ID. Okay, and the ID is the status ID. We are checking MySQL numbers. Check. Okay, if num is 1, we're inserting it, but it says there isn't any status there, which is not right. Okay, so let's just do one thing for now. What if we don't have these here? Let's just see whether that's creating the problem. Okay, and okay, let's just see whether it's inserted. Yeah, it's inserted, you know, as well as echoed the error part, which is not right actually. Status ID is 46, liker ID is 1, and okay, let's just clear that. And again, refresh the page. Like, it shows error again. And let's just status likes, it shows 46. That's something not right. The actual problem I see is here. I just, you know, mistakenly wrote 1 equal to, we need the 2 equal to's, and also we need to change this. It would only run, you know, the this part of the if block if it's, you know, equal to 1. Yeah, I think that's okay, because we would have only one status with the particular status ID, and there wouldn't be any 2 status with the same ID. So okay, that's fine. And yeah, let's just run that. Like, and yeah, we have this. Only the font of the, you know, data is a little big. We can do that. We need to also increase a little bit of the, you know, div there. Okay, the likes here, and we need to increase the height to 20 would be fine. And also we can write here font size to be 12 pixels and refresh that, like it again. And okay, we can okay, it says 2 people because I didn't I didn't do anything about the unliking part here. because when we refresh the page it still shows like. I'll come to that part in some time. Right now let's just work on the div now. The div is a little bigger now. We can reduce the div height to about 15 would be fine. Yeah, 15 looks fine. And 3 people like this. Okay, the font is also well enough. Okay, we want 3 people to be clickable, because when you click that we want to know who liked it. We'll come to that part in my next tutorial. Okay, so this is the thing here, and okay, now when a person clicks like, we need to actually show unlike here instead of the like. And as you can see, there's nothing happening right now. When you click like, it needs to display. I know actually, but a person can't like the same status twice. So let's just work on the unlike part now. Coming down, when a person likes button, unlike status should be shown. So when I click like, it's actually unlike there, but I didn't change the name of the button. It's unlike status. We need to change the part here. Yeah, so changing that to unlike. Yeah, when you refresh, when you click like, unlike comes there. We need to when unlike is clicked, we need to unlike the status there. Okay, now we can come to the unliking part. Before that, as you can see, when you refresh the page, that div is hidden now. It comes back to its original state. That is because we don't have any PHP part of that PHP part of the liking here in the index.php file. So we need to do that too. So we can do that by coming to the div here. So yeah, so in order to do that, firstly we need to do a few things in PHP. So I'll just in PHP that would be firstly to check get the number of likes on that particular status. So cLike, that means check likes, is equal to passing a query there. Select everything from status likes where the status ID is equal to the status ID here, and the num would be lnum, that means like num, MySQL _ rows, and cLike. Okay, if lnum is actually greater than 0, because there must be many people who must be liking the status. So if the lnum is greater than 0, that means there are more than one record of the status there. That means more than one person has liked the status. So if there is greater than 0, we need to do this, else echo out this part here, echo out that, and okay. So if there are more than 0, actually, if there is even one like, we need to echo that div, but it shouldn't be hidden there. So we need to remove the display none part, and inside the div there we need to echo out the number of likes. So okay, I didn't have to add another echo code, no problem, we'll just do that. It would be the same like it is coming from this here. Okay, we'll just copy that, the status like.php, and paste it there, so that there aren't any changes in the when the person likes and when you refresh the page. Okay, that is the same there. Let's just run that up, refresh, and okay, I'm if I will be num2, just inspect that. What does it say there? And if I num2 in the index.py on line 115, and okay, num2, oh sorry, if I just copied that, I didn't change the variable name, lnum. Okay, now close the inspect box, refresh, and we have 5 people like this because I didn't create any unliking option there. We'll just check everything, delete from the database, and and refresh the page. We won't be having the div anymore because no one liked it now. So when we refresh the page, nothing happens. When you like it, 1 people like this, and when you refresh, it shows the same thing there. And when we refresh also, we need the like button to be hidden and it should be showing unlike. So in order to do that, we can again use this if statement here. Actually it should be used up here, but so in order to do that, we can write these 2 lines somewhere up here. Okay, so here we need to write here if lnum is greater than 0, we need to do this, else do that. So if there is anyone who is liking the comment, if actually we need to go on to further calculations, if there is a person who has liked the status, then we have to check that person whether that person is actually the user who is actually logged on right now. So if num is greater than 0, then we have to do a further more calculation and function there. So then we need to fetch out the user ID. If so, actually we need or I would go and pass another query where we can check whether we have like that. So that is check like to, I'll just name that check like to MySQL query, select everything from status likes where liker ID is equal to our session ID, that is us. So we can lnum2, we can check it by using num rows c-like2. That means if lnum2 is equal to 1, that means we have actually we need to edit this more, where liker ID is this and the status ID is status ID, where that means if there is a like where the liker ID is us, that is the SID, and the status ID is the status ID of that particular status which we are checking. So if it is equal to 1, that means we have liked that status. Then do this. So we need to echo out unlike status here. That means we have like status, so we don't want the like button to be there anymore. So that shouldn't be displayed. Okay, it should be displayed. Yeah. Okay, that's there, and we need to actually echo that out. Okay, and if that person is not us, but there are someone who liked it, we need to echo out actually lnum, yeah, lnum, and actually the same line here. So as you can see, there's a little bit of confusion there, but if you understand, we are checking whether the status has likes in it firstly, then if yes, then we are checking whether we liked it. If yes, then display the unlike button. If there are likes but we didn't like it, then we have to just display the number of people who liked it. This is for because on the index.php file, this is because if you refresh the page, this should be checked, this should be run. So yeah, that's there. And else, that means if there aren't any likes, and if there aren't any likes, we need, okay, we've hidden the div before, so if there are likes but we didn't like it, so we also need to include the like button there. And we don't need to echo that, sorry, because echoing is done only in the likes div, not here. Okay, so if there are likes and we didn't like it, we need to have the like button visible. So it is, yeah, there's no display none, so that is visible there. And near the buttons, in every case, we need to actually add the dummy buttons there, unlike status dummy, and also the original buttons unlike status, which would be hidden. Okay, I'm writing the dummy buttons because when actually if the internet connection of the user is slow and when he clicks the like status button, you know, all the things which we wrote in our script has to be done. That means the liker ID, status ID has to go to the status like PHP button and then come back, and the data has to come back. So in that time frame, we need just to improve the performance of our site, we need to show a dummy button, just to show the user that he has done the job now by liking the status. So unlike button has been done. But in that time frame where the data is being exchanged between the files, if there is an error, then automatically this dummy button is hidden and the like button is there again. Because if when we like the button, if we show the unlike button right there, then the user, there's some mischievous people may just keep on clicking on the button there, unlike status, like status, unlike status, and like. That would create a little bit of confusion for our script there, for our status which doesn't exist. So that's the reason I'm using the dummy button, which would actually clear out any problems in our scripting. Okay, there's there. And near the unlike button also we need to include our like button, which would be hidden. And also we need a dummy button for the like button. Same thing applies for both the cases, like status, dummy. Yeah. Okay, so that is there. And here in the else part, where there isn't any like, that means where the status doesn't have any like, so we don't need an else for that, I guess. So just let me check that out. We don't need that else there. And we don't need this part here too. Yeah, that's about it there. Just run the script there. Okay, so we've liked it actually, so we can run, and you can see there the like button is in there. But for the other statuses, the the buttons are also hidden. So that means if there aren't any likes, that's the else part you have to work on for. let's just undo everything. Yeah, else in the else part we need to display this here. Yeah, let's paste that there and call it here. Actually, echo the like button. We need the unlike status dummy too, and also we need the unlike status original button. Okay, so this else part is where there aren't any likes for the status, so we need the like status to button to be shown and the other to be hidden there. We also need the like status dummy here in case there, yeah, like status dummy there. Actually we need all the types of buttons in one place. Here like status, unlike status, unlike status dummies there, we need the like status dummy button there. And here like status, we need the unlike status dummy button there, which is hidden. One need to be shown and the rest to be hidden. Yeah, that's there. That's okay. Refresh the page and see the like buttons, everything is shown there. When you click like, and you know, this is there. When you refresh the page, like is shown, data is there. When you click on like now, nothing happens. Okay, so when you click on like button, nothing happens there. Okay, now let's work on the unliking part. Okay, for that we need to go down again, and before this, yeah, what happens when the user presses the unlike status button? Okay, click on this function, needs to be done, and that is to firstly we need to hide the like status button. First hide, actually no, first we need to hide the unlike status button, because when the user clicks unlike shouldn't be there anymore, like should come back. So unlike status button should be hidden, and we need a dummy like button to be displayed firstly before doing any scripting, before doing any data exchange there. And then create the variables just like we've done for the like status, liking the status, and that's again the status ID, status ID, that is the status ID, and we also need for the unliker ID, that is us, and again a variable, this is the Ajax part. Okay, let's just do that quickly. Sorry, and that is unliker ID. Okay, now Ajax, type is same as post, and the URL is unlike status.php, data is the data, and on success we need to do a function that is to firstly hide the like status button. Firstly check whether there is an error. If data is equal to error, if not, then we need to hide the dummy button. And show the real like button, that is like status. Yeah, that's there. And now we need to echo, we need to get the data from the PHP file. If there are like 10 people and if we've unliked it, there are 9 people left, so we need that to be displayed in that particular likes div. So that's there. And if the data has an error, we need to hide the dummy button again back, and we need to hide the dummy button there and show back the unlike status button there, because that means you know, the script has some problem and that can be executed. Okay, that is there. And from the incoming data we'll use the same thing. We'll just show the likes and HTML the data there. Yeah, now going back to unlike status.php, but that is by creating a new file in PHP file and naming it unlike status unlike status. Okay, extension is PHP. And now we have to get the variables, that is status ID, and we'll just do the same thing here. I'll actually copy these 2 lines and just change a few things here. Okay, and then we need to include our database file and then check whether this database is there, the status exists or not. And if yes, then okay, now if yes, the data is there, then we need to remove the like from that particular status of that particular user. So in order to do that, that is update, we need to pass a query there, and that is it's not remove, it's delete from status likes where the status ID is the given status ID and the liker ID is our unliker ID. So we need to remove that so that the data is updated again. Just else. That means if there isn't any status with that ID, we need to echo out error. And yeah, we need to again do this here. We need to get back again after removing our like from there. We need to get the number of likes in that particular status and echo that out in the div. That would be just the number of likes minus 1. That would be us. So you know, instead of doing -1, I would just rather do that, because we don't know if someone else sitting, you know, in some else other part of the world clicks unlike at the same time when you have clicked, you know, so it actually echoes out the number of likes right then. Okay, so that's there. Let's just refresh that. If we click unlike, okay, nothing happens here. Let's just check status likes. Okay, we have to let us delete that. Let's start from fresh. Okay, now refresh, nothing is shown. Like, we liked it. Okay, now we don't have the unlike button to be shown here. Let us check. When we click like, we should come, actually we should come here in this else part, where if a user clicks the like button, we need the unlike status dummy to be shown, and then unlike status dummy hidden and unlike status to be shown. Yeah, that's there, and let's inspect that and see what is shown there. Okay, like status dummy button is shown there, but why isn't it working when we click the button there? Let's check that. It shouldn't be like status there, it should be unlike there. So when we click the like status, I'll just check that. Okay guys, I found the problem. Actually there was an equal to here. I removed that and put a plus there, and I changed the names of the button there. I had like instead of unlike for the unlike buttons. Okay, I'll just remove all the likes now, and let's just test that out now. Yes, and okay, so yeah, let's just refresh the page and like the status. 1 people like this. Okay, click unlike, 0 people like this. Now we can also do that if when we unlike the button, click it and click the unlike button, if there are 0 people who like this, then we would want the diff to be hidden or something like that. I wouldn't go that on that part, because firstly this tutorial become a little lengthy right now, so that I would leave that on guessing that on you. So I'll leave that on you. So okay, unlike button, 0 people like this. So checking this database again, nothing is there because we didn't like anything right now. Okay, then refreshing the page, that would hide the div because we've written a PHP script in our index.php file. And then like the status, refresh the page, nothing changes. Unlike it, it's gone. Okay, liking other statuses, 1. Okay, there. So there's presently only 2 statuses which are liked. Checking the database, status ID is 4445 and the like ID is this. And I'll just give you a small hint on how to actually make this clickable. You just have to make this 1 people as a button, and then if someone clicks it, write another script using Jquery that to just to open a div pop-up, make the other background as black, using CSS, and then in that div you can using the liker IDs, fetch the information of the likers from the users table, and then display the names along with the pictures and all in that div, showing the people who like the status. Okay, and in the same way the liking of the comments also work like that. So I would leave all that part to you, because I would want you to also start working on your own and just not going on everything on my tutorial. You should also learn a few things on your own, and not just copy paste from the tutorials given on the internet. That makes you understand what is actually going on, and that you'll have a hands-on experience on what you're doing. So yeah, that's about it in this tutorial. So that basically covers every part of the Facebook style status update. And the share button, actually I wouldn't do that, because that involves sharing the status to another user or on your profile page. In Facebook it is done by including a table. I can give you a hint on how to do that. And the user clicks share button, make a pop-up, and then give the user 3 options, whether he wants to share the status to a friend by inboxing him, by sending him a private message with the status in the message, or else you can give an option whether he wants to share the status message on someone's profile page. In order to implement that, if he wants to send it to someone through a private message, you can include a table, create a new table, which if you are creating a social network, you would obviously have a private messages table. Okay, using that table you can include this as a whole message in that, or give a link of this status, where you can create a page such as status.php, and using the ID of the status on your header bar, fetch out the status and all the comments of the status, and give that link in your private message which you are sending to your friend or someone. So that is one way. Or if you're sharing it on someone's profile, just let's include just post the status ID and include that in the statuses, or actually the profile statuses of the user you want to post to. So that's about it, and this was the actual final tutorial for this Facebook style status update. I'm always ready to accept any changes you would want to make, and any suggestions you would like to give. I would also include that in the upcoming tutorials as a correction to this tutorial. So if you have any doubts, you can always contact me through my channel. I'll be happy to help you. So that's about it. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.